What is AI going to do to our jobs?
Look, if you believe everything you hear, it's coming for our jobs, it's going to take everybody's job. I don't think it'll be that bad, but I guess that's what we're going to try and unpack.
Well, apparently, 1 in 3 workers, according to a survey that The Guardian was reporting on earlier this year, 1 in 3 Australians reckon their job will disappear because of AI, artificial intelligence. Wow. But at the same time, 1 in 3 businesses in Australia are reportedly using AI. Maybe this is why the 1 in 3 workers are fearing that their jobs...
They know something we don't know.
There's a thing called the AIcompass.com. aicompass.com.au. I don't totally get it, but I think what it's trying to demonstrate is across many different types of work, from an accountant to cleaners and laundry workers to childcare workers, office managers.
Zookeepers are in there. Can't outsource a zookeeper.
I think the zookeepers are on here, but it's a color-coded scheme, and it's rating out of 10 what your exposure is in your job to AI.
Sounds like radiation. It sounds quite painful, doesn't it?
Not when you're a cleaner and a laundry worker, because your exposure to AI apparently is 2 out of 10. Cleaners maintain hygiene in offices. Yep. Each environment's unique. Yes, robotic vacuums handle flat floors, but full cleaning requires human adaptability.
Yeah. And physical labor, right? Like they need to physically still do the job. You can't do a one-pager and ChatGPT that'll virtually clean it. It needs to be really cleaned.
But you asked about yourself. Well, Pete, are you sure you want to know your exposure to
Careful
AI?
what you ask for.
aicompass.com.au reveals that accountants' exposure, 8 out of 10, Pete.
I normally like 8 out of 10. I don't feel like I like this.
Yeah, this is not a good 8 out of 10. No, accountants prepare financial statements, tax returns, and audit reports. These are fundamentally digital, rule-based outputs that AI handles with increasing accuracy. Complex advisory and client management provide remaining human value.
Yeah. Ouch. Wow.
I know.
That's all I am. Remaining human value. I think there's a lot of truth to that. I think software systems, especially in my working life, have collated clients' data to a point where we then interpret it and then we talk to them about things they can do to implement. So I think data and AI systemization and time saving gets you so far. Then it's the application of that data. What does it mean? What are we going to do with it? How does it relate to your circumstances? So definitely some lower level tasks. I think simple tax returns will be automated within the next few years, where there's not a lot of technicality or tax deductions involved in them. I think for accountants, yes, some tasks will be automated. Then it's up to us as an industry to prove how we're adding value to clients.
And as we've already indicated, no one knows what's going to happen. And I think we've touched on a little bit that there have been various points in history, many of them, where technology has changed to such a degree that it has transformed the way that we do work. Like the Industrial Revolution, let alone other points in agriculture, society and history.
Computerization. I mean, even the blue collar industry in Australia, we used to have a bigger manufacturing industry and now we don't. Well, what happened to all those people? Some retired, some probably did get retrenched and maybe didn't reskill, but we've pivoted into other industries. We used to make cars in Australia, now we don't. Well, all those people have had to get jobs somewhere else. So we can retrain, we can reskill. It's harder depending on your age and stage in life, but I do tend to think we could be over catastrophizing this a little bit early with AI. You just got to pick a job and maybe an industry that's more resilient. Not resistant, probably can't be resistant to AI, but it's got to be resilient.
That's a good practical step about how you assess your exposure and what you're going to do in work and how it's going to affect your money, financial situation. This aicompass.com.au, if you haven't seen it, might be worth checking out because it does a very quick appraisal, a broad one, of many different industries. Maybe you haven't stopped to think about yours. This could be a good first point of doing that. I've also seen a stat, Pete, that 30% of our working hours could be done by generative AI, as in this is being a positive. And this, I think, is another practical step, if you haven't started this already, is work out how AI can help you, especially with the boring, tedious, admin kind of parts, repetitive, tasks. Anything like that fits under, I don't really want to do this, but I have to do it for my job. This estimate of 30% is probably correct for all kinds of industries, including blue collar. And so if you are able, and you haven't already, to investigate even the free versions of all kinds of AI programs out there, there is probably something that can help you.
Engage with it is what you're saying. Like, we can't just fear it from the other side of the fence, especially if you're worried about your job. Maybe engage with it in a limited way, or ask your workforce and your bosses for support and go, what's our policy on AI? Can we use it? Like, do we have a strategy? Do we have a way that we're going to do it? And engage with it rather than just fear it without engaging with it.
And I'm a presenter on Hope Mornings at Hope 103.2 here in Sydney. One of the things I like about my job is the creative side of it and getting to think about all kinds of stuff and search out topics and interviews and all of that. And I am reticent to hand that over. One of the reasons is it feels a little bit like I'm handing my job over, but also it's a part of my my job I really like.
You want to use your brain too, right? Like you want to think, you want to create.
My actual intelligence
Yeah,
bit.
like is AI really going to do that? It might collate and bring you a bigger palette of things, but in terms of thinking and creating and riffing off it like we do in an actual podcast, I don't know that people want to see that part of their jobs disappear. They want the bit that gives them value, that taps into their creativity and their skill.
It sounds like we're suggesting on the practical front at least two things. One is looking at the resilience of your job, working that out, and even heading towards reskilling, retraining.
Or training, if you haven't gone to uni yet, or if you haven't finished school, have a think about what kind of jobs you think will be resilient moving forward.
And also looking at ways you could even modestly, gently incorporate AI into what you're doing.
Yep.
And I've seen that even at home, like some of the difference that it can make in even home finances. Take your point, Pete, that the personal touch of an accountant
but
can make
for some
a massive
things,
difference.
automate it. Yep, if you had a family budget, something like that.
Anything else you recommend at this point in AI history about how we can limit our exposure to what could possibly happen?
Losing your job.
I'm trying not to be doom and gloom.
I don't think it is all doom and gloom. I think it is too early. You can't ignore it, but you can't just fear it. I think you've got to engage with it, try and understand it, but work out it's a tool, right? Like tools are useful, but you can't use a tool to do everything. It does have a job and it does have limitations. It helps you move things forward, but it generally has a use. And we've got to think of AI as that and go, there are still things that exist beyond AI's capability. How can I help with that?